It's the worst feeling in the world, the relentless clock, the creeping anxiety, the utter desperation for just one quiet night. So, you reach for that little pill. You make a silent bargain with yourself. You think it's your solution. But what if the drug you rely on to silence your mind tonight is the very thing accelerating the loss of your precious memories tomorrow? This isn't theory. A landmark study from the University of Washington, published in JAMA Internal Medicine, delivered a terrifying warning. After tracking thousands of older adults, researchers found that long-term use of certain common sleep and pain medications, some you buy right over the counter, can increase your risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's by as much as 54%. They are anticholinergics, slowly starving your brain of the chemical messenger it needs to store memories. You aren't sleeping, you are being sedated, and the cost is your independence. If you are over 60, this is the most important video you will watch all year. Today, we are going to name the 5 specific categories of pills that are silently linked to cognitive decline, so you can check your cabinet immediately. But don't panic. Because I'm also going to reveal the Brain Restorative Sleep Protocol, a completely natural, 3-step method that includes a specific red elixir shown to boost your body's natural sleep hormone by over 200%. Your power to heal is greater than you think. Stay with me. Let's dive into the science. Number 1, the PM painkillers, diphenhydramine. The first category is perhaps the most dangerous because it is so incredibly common. We are talking about the PM painkillers. You know the ones, Tylenol PM, Advil PM, or generic store brands labeled nighttime pain relief. You have a backache or a stiff knee, so you figure, why not kill 2 birds with one stone? I'll stop the pain and get some sleep. It seems like a smart move, but if you flip that bottle over, you will see an ingredient called diphenhydramine. This is not a painkiller. It is an old-school antihistamine that has a powerful sedative side effect. Here is why this is a major issue for anyone over 60. Diphenhydramine is a potent anticholinergic. It dries up your bodily fluids, that's why it stops a runny nose, but it also dries up the acetylcholine in your brain. When you take this specifically for sleep, you are usually taking a higher dose than you would for allergies. If you take this every night, your brain is under a constant siege, unable to form the neurotransmitters required for short-term memory. You might notice that the next day you feel groggy, you forget where you put your keys, or you lose your train of thought mid-sentence. We call this the anticholinergic hangover. The medical community is so concerned about this that they have included it on the BEARS criteria, which is a guideline for healthcare professionals listing medications that are potentially inappropriate for older adults. Using it once in a blue moon for a cold is one thing, but using a PM painkiller as a nightly crutch is a direct invitation to cognitive decline. Number 2, the just for sleep antihistamines, doxylamine. Number 2 is the cousin of the PM painkillers, but these are marketed strictly as sleep aids. Brands like Unisom, Xanax, or ZzzQuil fall into this category. The active ingredient here is often doxylamine succinate or, again, diphenhydramine. Many seniors assume that because these are sold over the counter at the grocery store next to the vitamins, they must be gentle and safe. This is a dangerous misconception. These drugs are extremely sedating and have a very long half-life. A half-life is the time it takes for half of the drug to leave your system. For older adults, whose livers and kidneys process drugs more slowly, these chemicals can stay in your system for well over 12 hours. This means when you wake up to have your morning coffee, a significant amount of the drug is still blocking your brain signals. This creates a state of pseudodementia. You might feel confused or unsteady on your feet. In fact, studies show that the use of these sedating antihistamines is linked not just to long-term dementia risk, but to an immediate risk of falls and hip fractures. When you fall and break a hip after the age of 65, the trauma and hospitalization accelerate brain aging rapidly. Furthermore, your brain builds a tolerance to these drugs very quickly. After just 3 or 4 days, the sleep-inducing effects were off, so you have to take more to get the same result, increasing the toxic load on your brain while the drug becomes less and less effective. It is a cycle of diminishing returns with increasing risks. Number 3, the benzodiazepines, Xanax, Valium, Ativan. Now we move to the prescription heavy hitters, benzodiazepines. You know them by names like Xanax, Valium, Ativan, or Klonopin. These were originally designed to treat severe anxiety, but for decades, doctors have prescribed them as sleeping pills for older adults. These drugs work by enhancing a chemical called GABA, which slows down the nervous system. While they are very effective at knocking you out, the price your brain pays is steep. A study published in the British Medical Journal, which involved over 1,000 people, found that taking benzodiazepines for just 3 to 6 months could increase Alzheimer's risk by 32%. If you take them for longer than 6 months, that risk jumps to a staggering 84%. The danger here is twofold. First, these drugs interfere with the architecture of your sleep. They suppress slow-wave sleep, which is the deep, restorative stage where your brain flushes out toxins and beta-amyloid plaques, the gunk associated with Alzheimer's. So, even if you are unconscious for 8 hours, your brain isn't getting cleaned. You are waking up with a dirty brain every single morning. Second, benzodiazepines are notoriously addictive. Your brain becomes dependent on them to switch off. Trying to stop them suddenly can cause severe withdrawal, rebound insomnia, and anxiety, which scares people into staying on them for years. Many geriatricians now refer to these drugs as chemical restraints rather than sleep aids because of how significantly they dull the cognitive sharpness of older patients. If you are on these, do not stop cold turkey. That can be dangerous, but you must talk to your doctor about a tapering plan immediately. Number 4, the Z-drugs, Ambien, Lunesta. Number 4 covers the Z-drugs, specifically zolpidem, Ambien, esapicolone, Lunesta, and Zalplan, Sonata. When the dangers of benzodiazepines became well known, the medical industry shifted to these Z-drugs, claiming they were safer and more targeted. For a long time, we believed that. However, new research is shattering that safety myth. While they act on similar receptors as benzodiazepines, they come with a terrifying set of side effects that are unique to this class, particularly for the aging brain. The most disturbing issue with Z-drugs is complex sleep behaviors. This is like sleepwalking on steroids. People on these medications have been known to cook meals, make phone calls, drive cars, and even leave their houses while completely asleep, with zero memory of the event the next day. This suggests that the drug shuts down the memory recording part of the brain while leaving the motor function part of the brain active, a terrifying disconnect. Furthermore, a study presented at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference suggested that frequent users of sleep medications, including Z-drugs, were more likely to develop dementia than those who slept poorly but took nothing. The drugs induce a hypnotic state, not natural sleep. In this hypnotic state, your brain waves do not oscillate in the natural rhythm required to consolidate memories. You might think you slept well because you don't remember waking up, but biologically, your brain has been in a coma-like suspension, not a regenerative cycle. The amnesia effect of these drugs is not a side effect, it is literally how they work. Number 5. Tricyclic antidepressants, trazodone, doxepin. Finally, number 5. Tricyclic antidepressants, such as doxepin, amitriptyline, or sometimes trazodone. This is a case of what doctors call off-label prescribing. These are old antidepressant medications that aren't used much for depression anymore because we have newer drugs. However, because they cause significant drowsiness, doctors frequently prescribe them in low doses for insomnia. You might think, well, it's an antidepressant, it can't be that bad for my brain, right? Wrong. These are some of the strongest anticholinergic drugs in existence. The anticholinergic burden of tricyclics is high. They block acetylcholine aggressively. The side effects give it away: dry mouth, blurred vision, constipation, and urinary retention. If a drug is powerful enough to stop your gut from moving and dry out your saliva, imagine what it is doing to the delicate chemical balance of your neurons. A study in the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society highlighted that strong anticholinergics like these are associated with reduced brain volume and lower glucose metabolism in the brain, which is a biomarker for Alzheimer's. Essentially, these drugs slow down the energy consumption of your brain cells. Over time, a brain that doesn't burn energy efficiently begins to atrophy and shrink. Many seniors are put on these because they are non-addictive in the traditional sense, unlike Xanax, but the trade-off is a chemical fog that can mask the early symptoms of dementia or, worse, accelerate the condition in those who are already vulnerable. Take a deep breath. The goal isn't to scare you, but to empower you with the knowledge that you can achieve restorative sleep without dangerous drugs by working with your biology, using the Brain Restorative Sleep Protocol. This powerful 3-step system focuses on correcting underlying deficiencies and calming the hyperalert nervous system. Step 1 is the mineral reset. Stop using poorly absorbed magnesium oxide and instead take 200 mg of magnesium bisglycinate an hour before bed. This essential mineral is the body's natural on-off switch that, combined with the amino acid glycine, lowers your core temperature, efficiently signaling the brain to wind down. Step 2 is incorporating the red elixir into your diet, Pure Montmorency tart cherry juice. This is one of nature's richest food sources of natural melatonin and tryptophan, and studies from LSU confirm it can increase sleep duration by over 84 minutes. Drink about 6 ounces with your evening meal for maximum benefit. Finally, for those moments of racing thoughts in bed, use Step 3, the 4-7-8 breathing technique. This conscious pattern, inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8, manually switches your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest. By consistently using this gentle, science-backed protocol, you give your body the tools it needs to achieve the deep wave sleep required to heal and protect your precious memories. Now, I want to hear from you. We have a community of thousands of people here helping each other. Are you currently taking any of the 5 pills we mentioned? Or, do you have a natural remedy, maybe a tea or a routine, that helps you sleep? Please, leave a comment below with your age and your story. Your experience might be the exact encouragement someone else needs to make a change. Thanks for watching.